Welcome back, everybody, to game number one for our second match, best out of two of the day. You're watching the G1 League, the group stages, and we have ourselves quite a rematch. Fumoffu's Throws Fans Club, or FTFC, who gained that name, or gave themselves that name, after their last match against Evil Geniuses. They're playing EG again. Of course, EG, the North American Dota squad, with the lone European member being maelk. They have another European stand-in today, though, as Pusher Street will be filling in for bdiz, who was not able to attend. Looks like we should be getting underway with the draft pretty quickly. Now, of course, I did check the pings, and as you would expect, this is on the Singapore server. It is a Southeast Asian / Chinese tournament. It's an Asian event. EG knew that. They wanted to play anyway. They felt the practice would be worth it, and perhaps the prize pool worth it as well. So they'll have some delay. That's sort of, it comes with the territory. That being said, FTFC, not the greatest paints themselves either. It's unfortunate, but Oceania just not known for its strong internet. And here comes the flooding. Slow start to the draft. Both teams taking their time with this one. And let's see where they go. The last series we saw Fumoffu with a max inventory anti-mage managed to die twice and his team lost. It's something you almost never see. You just really don't see max inventory anti-mages lose more than once in a blue moon. We saw Fear with a siege tank, a battering ram of a Shadow Fiend. No boots. We saw a Rapier just sitting on the ground so long that eventually a twin-headed dragon picked it up. We saw a smoke gank of the throne. I mean, pretty much every ridiculous thing that you could possibly think of that could happen in one series happened in two games. And then game three was a normal, boring game, which EG kind of stomped their way through, but featured some nice play by Demon, especially with it on his BATRIDER. But for the most part, it was those first two games, which I think most of us are remembering, which sort of stand in our heads. And let's look forward to what should be a pretty epic game here. I like this by EG. Probably, by far, I would say kphoenix's strongest, most reliable hero. It is the tanker, and he's gonna go. They're gonna go ahead and ban it out. kphoenix, I think, out of all the players on this team, FTFC, he's the one player that is gonna get those respect bans, at least until someone else shows something. For anyone who's not familiar with the standings so far, I think this is a good time to just very quickly show you. EG, they haven't played a game yet. They're 0-0. Sequential Gaming 0-2. So both of these teams at 0 points. But for SQL, if they lose this match, they lost their first series already to LGD. So then they're gonna have to play against MUFC and IG, neither of which are gonna be easy opponents. So if they lose this match, they're at a great risk of being that last place team, the one team that won't advance out of the group stages. 4 teams from each group will advance, 1 team will not. They start this draft pretty standard, though. They're gonna get their hands on the Tidehunter and the Rubik. EG with the first pick BATRIDER, probably going to be Demons. They generally run it as the off-lane hero, maybe throw it into the jungle if there's not anywhere to farm or any experience to be claimed in that suicide lane. And that's the versatility of the hero. So they get a strong initiator. They get a hero that can set things up, a lot of damage in the early to mid game as well. And a versatile laner. Interesting that they would ban out the Templar Assassin as well as pick up this BATRIDER. I think just really suggesting that they plan to use the suicide lane here. They don't want to send that BATRIDER mid to deal with the TA. So how does EG respond? They respond with Jakiro. We're not seeing the Knight strat. We're not seeing the what godz is called sort of the cheesy things that EG likes to do with a lot of pushing early. This is a different kind of lineup. It looks to be a Jeyo Invoker. Probably going to see that solo mid. Jakiro most likely to protect the safe lane. Although with a BATRIDER Jakiro, you have an offensive tri-lane option, and I wonder if that's what EG have up their sleeves. Not saying they will for sure, but it is an option, in which case they need another hero for that tri-lane, maybe a jungler for maelk, and then someone else who's a strong solo on the other side of the map. Fear's Lone Druid is in the pool. A lot of Fear's heroes are available. Basically, none of them have been banned out.
Night Stalker.
And Night Stalker. I actually don't know who plays this. This was something that we saw IG use time and again. But when they ran it, it was always paired up with the Bounty Hunter. So your ganks are worth more gold, and they're also a bit easier to claim as you get that minus armor, you get that vision. You can't really be juked at all. Although Night Stalker, generally hard to juke anyway. And you get a little bit of extra move speed for a hero who already has a lot. So, interesting pick. Both teams have great initiation. Already, Tidehunter, Rubik, and Night Stalker, fantastic for FTFC. But the same for EG. Long-range initiation through Cold Snap, through Ice Path. and through the lasso, which isn't that long to start, but once you get the blink dagger, becomes a very reliable form. Very smart ban by EG. Immediately the bounty hunter ban. They're not going to let FTFC get their hands on the bounty hunter and the night stalker. There will be no IG strategy for FTFC, at least not yet. So they have a versatile draft also in the sense that they could put Tidehunter as their offlaner, and it's what FTFC do a lot of. But he could also be that tri-lane support. So they could either go for one farmer and then an offlane, or they can go for a farmer and a support for the tri-lane. It's looking like they don't really have the heroes to run a dual lane. They could maybe do something aggressive, but I just don't think EG have anyone that's really critical to gank or easy to gank right now. So, and that gives BATRIDER a lot of space. So we'll see what they do. It's feeling like FTFC needs some stuns now, though. Need a little bit more lockdown to deal with the BATRIDER, deal with the Invoker, and then someone who scales a bit more. How many kills will this Night Stalker be able to find? That will become the story of this game. If he doesn't have success early, by the time that mid game hits, BATRIDER can really punish him for jumping in, and of course Jakiro can as well. So let's keep our eyes on that first. I would say 5 to 15 minute mark. If the Night Stalker finds a couple of kills, that's really going to open this game up for FTFC. But on the flip side, if he gets shut down early, life gets tricky. Again, for everyone just tuning in, this is game number 1. It's the G1 League group stages, day 4 of group stage action. We have 2 weeks of group stages in total. We're most of the way through week number 1 after today. We have a couple of days left, but getting close to concluding the first week and then one more week to go before groups are started out. Already we've seen IG just really dominating in their group. LGD sort of in the middle of the pack. DK pulling away a bit. And those are really the top 3 teams so far. Orange have only played 1 series. We haven't seen enough of them to really get a verdict on how Ice is filling in, how he's sort of fitting in with that team, since they're not using Winner or KYXY in this event. Anyway, the draft continues and the Broodmother getting banned out. Interesting ban on the Broodmother. I guess just a hero they don't want to deal with. They have quite a bit of AoE. The Jakiro, one of the better supports to deal with the Spiderlings. BATRIDER's Firefly, obviously fantastic for her. Sticky Napalm, always going to be good against a melee hero who spends a lot of time turning around compared to a ranged hero and trying to stay in close to do the damage. The one thing I'll say about the Brood is, because it draws multiple heroes to your lane, it makes it easier for Night Stalker to find heroes by themselves. So that may be the thought process for EG. And an Undying ban. Interesting. This hero, we saw a great Undying. If you missed the previous series, N9 played earlier today, and they ran a really interesting Undying. They played him as a safe lane farmer, which we tend to see him a little bit as a safe lane farmer, and then a little bit as an aggressive dual or tri-lane option, just to provide a lot of pressure to try and shut down a carry that wants to be farming, wants to be left unchecked and unpressured. And it worked. It worked beautifully. And it actually shut down a lineup with the Tidehunter with a lot of team fight, because he just got so tanky and he had an early mech and they couldn't bring him down. They couldn't bring him down and they also couldn't bring his team down. Lifestealer, that's the choice for EG. This is something FTFC used against EG in the previous series. And if you look at this lineup right now for FTFC, nothing that goes through Rage, nothing to really lock the Lifestealer down, and 2 melee heroes who Lifestealer loves to play against, because that means they're close to him, easy for him to do the damage with the right clicks. Now, the Night Stalker Silence not only does it prevent you from casting Rage, it also gives you a chance to miss during the night. So that could be a fairly decent way to deal with the Lifestealer, at least in the mid game. I'm seeing some cool combos already. BATRIDER being infested by Lifestealer, Lifestealer blinking in, and Lifestealer popping out for an instant initiation and burst damage. It requires that BATRIDER to get the blink, but you could even infest him and he can just Firefly in, or even earlier. So this is an interesting pick, and I think BATRIDER's a nice choice. Maybe, I think Storm is probably the ideal hero that you like to combo with Lifestealer, just because he can go anywhere at any time. But BATRIDER's not bad either, and well, he doesn't need 6 to get going. We'll see. We'll see how the lanes work. A little bit lacking on team fight right now is EG, so they're going to need this Lifestealer to get big. They need him to get big, and they need the Invoker to have a decent start. That's what's important for this team. If Invoker gets shut down, if Lifestealer doesn't have a good start, BATRIDER and Jakiro aren't going to be able to do too much with all these silences, all these slows, and all this control from FTFC. If Lifestealer's fat, though, and he pops Rage, everybody's running, everybody's struggling. And a hero that is just sort of forgotten, at least in the Asian scene, the Prophet, a last pick for EG, can be food for Nightstalker, can also be a great counter to him and punish his aggression. It really goes both ways. And now I wonder how the lanes will shape out. Could it be an off-lane Prophet, a jungle BATRIDER, a solo mid Invoker, and then a Jakiro Lifestealer dual lane? That's what I'm expecting. But BATRIDER and Lifestealer both have the option to jungle. We're not going to see Lifestealer jungle this game. He's just not a very quick one, and generally he's better off farming in the lane. You're going to get a lot more gold that way. But the BATRIDER and the Prophet can both handle the offlane reasonably well, and both of them can jungle reasonably well. So I'm curious to see how EG choose to play this. I would say Prophet's a little bit safer as an offlane hero because you never have to leave your tower. You can always pull the wave back with your treants unless they do something really cheeky to shut you down. It's just how long ago was it that Prophet was just a first pick, first ban? It feels like forever, but it's really been maybe 3 months at most. I mean, in the international, it was more the Darkseer, the Lycan, the Naga Siren, and sort of these big team fight specialists and incredibly hard to kill pushers. But it's a Prophet as the last pick, and then a hero that used to be a top ban before more heroes got added to the pool, the Anti-Mage. How much lockdown do they really have for him? Cold Snap, Frostbite, or not Frostbite, Ice Path, and the Lasso. That's it. Open Wounds, you can Manta style out of that. You can also blink away while you're being manted. And I'm going to switch the overlay now. And, oh no, we're going to have a remake. Alright, we'll just stay on this overlay. Less chance for me to mess it up. Looks like we're going to have a quick remake. So the draft is complete for anyone just trickling in. I see a lot of you joining us now. Game 1 draft complete. Game not started though, and we are having a bit of a remake. EG last picking the Prophet and then SQL, or FTFC rather, I should say. Quick to respond with the Anti-Mage. He could be a real problem in the mid game for them. The only an early hex on the Prophet or the Invoker, that's the other way they can shut him down. Either that or a Basher on the Lifestealer. But aside from that, it just comes down to really well timed lassos and coordination from EG. They just don't have that much lockdown. I love this chat. Alright guys, I'm just going to talk to the admins real quick, see what is going on. I believe we're having a remake, but the lobby is not up yet. And there you go. We're back in business. Yeah, everything looking good on the stream right now, guys. We got the overlay all set up. We got the video rolling. We got the mic unmuted. We got myself in the lobby in the broadcaster slot. We got the in-game audio activated. Nothing wrong with this stream at all right now. Nothing at all. We're smooth as butter. We're delightful as a midsummer's night. I could go on all day. Alright, I'll give you video. That one was intentional. So in we go to game number 2, or excuse me, game number 1. For anyone who missed the series these two teams had in the qualifier, let me just say, you really need to watch it. Honestly, you probably shouldn't be watching this series because we may have some context coming into play later on. We'll see, but EG even took a page out of FTFC's book. So they kind of stole their strategy to win a game against Quantic and Raid Call. So it's becoming a bit of a thing, and I would love to see a rivalry develop between these teams. So, but yeah, check those games out. The VODs are available, like everything for the G1 League. YouTube.com/ldDOTA and YouTube.com/godzstudios. If it's more convenient for you, if you go to my channel, which again, YouTube.com/ldDOTA, there's a playlist with all of the qualifier games in one playlist, and then all of the group stage games are going into that a separate playlist. Oh, the chat's just catching the black screen now. Oh, such a good troll. Finally, I got a little revenge on you guys. At long last. I gotta have a little fun. Come on now. You guys have been riding me ragged the past few days. This is funny. It's too bad I can't react in real time. Alright, but yeah, we're back inside the game. EG, they went for a last pick profit. Unusual to see him slip through in previous days or earlier in this game and in previous versions, or earlier in Dota 2, I mean to say, but nowadays, it's still a versatile hero, and I honestly thought he would be played a little bit more. Sure, he's not really the best direct combat hero, but good at a little bit of everything. And I'm not sure why the timer is going to 0. Okay, there we go. Oh, my game is really lagging. Alright, looks like we're all set. So, kphoenix, Night Stalker, not playing. I thought maybe he'd play the Rubik and they'd run Tidehunter. Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. Well, let's see with the lanes. But fumoffu gonna play the Anti-Mage. Cuck's gonna be handling the Tidehunter. tduck on the Venomancer, and finally Vodkey, who I even asked to remind me to switch the overlays, although I got it right in the end. He'll be playing the Rubik. I didn't really ask him so much as he was like, damn it, I'm gonna tell you, LD. bdiz, meanwhile for EG, playing that support Chikiro. Towards the bottom lane, we'll probably have... Are we gonna have maelk? It looks like a jungle build for him, playing that Nature's Prophet. Offlane, Demon handling the BATRIDER, which has become one of his favorite offlane heroes as of late, especially in this version. Jeyo, Exort Invoker, not wasting any time, lots of stats, already picking up the orb. And an aggressive foray into this jungle. I love this ward. It's sort of like this little cheeky ward spot over here, except not used as often, at least not until recently. So that's going to delay the jungle, and hey, FTFC have a pretty good idea that there will be some jungling. Now, one thing maelk can do, once he hits level 2, is TP onto this hill and just farm this camp from the high ground. It's something you'll see a lot of the Pinoy teams do, and a lot of Asian teams have started to adopt it for their off-lane profits, or even for their jungle profits. Just allows you to conserve your mana, and avoid taking damage or being forced to spam treants too much, and then running out of mana, having to go back to base. So he's got his options, even though they have warded off the small camp, as well as warding off this pull camp. Middle lane, kphoenix, just going to be soloing. Nice creep block by him. And jeyo, perhaps, not as nice. Maybe the delay coming into play there. Vodkey going to be supporting Night Stalker, so they're not going to let jeyo have that 1v1. I actually feel Night Stalker does okay in this matchup, but he's rushing the bottle, so it looks like at least keep Vodkey until he gets his bottle. Then we may see kphoenix sort of solo the lane, just use the bottle to continually spam, heal up when you need to, harass the Invoker, as well as get some last hits. You can even sort of use it to push the lane. You'll notice Demon, just like we see Beastmasters with Wild X's mowing down the trees, he's used Firefly before the creeps even spawn to get rid of those, so a hero that's already difficult to gank, even more difficult. He's been pulled regen, and he's also started with boots. This is a really smart decision in the offlane as a BATRIDER. Having early boots and having Firefly makes you virtually ungankable. At the same time, it also means you can't really be very aggressive in terms of trading hits. This is not that much regen when there's 3 heroes and 2 supports potentially in that lane. maelk done a nice job of very quickly dewarding. Found that one in no time. And now he's going to jungle pretty effectively. bdiz, though. bdiz has been flummoxed. bdiz has not found the sentry ward. He's not able to pull this middle lane, which I think might have been the idea, is just do multiple pulls on both sides of the map, as well as have the Prophet jungling. That would really limit the tide, and he's really limited anyway, let's be honest. Sitting at level 1, not getting any experience. Neither is Demon. Demon is struggling as well. And now they may be looking to get a little aggressive. Not just yet, though. You know, kphoenix has picked up the bottle, and we're going to see him just spamming that nuke to get last hits where he needs to. And then also you can even start harassing Invoker. When you go for this exort build, you don't have any regen aside from your consumables. He's already eaten through 2 tangos. He'll go back for Quas later, but a low-level Quas doesn't actually heal you up that much. Normally you don't bother to harass Invoker. It's just not a cost-effective use of your time or your resources. But when he goes for the exort build, you have a little more flexibility. FTFC, I'm a little surprised they haven't attempted a smoke gank yet on the middle lane. It's an exort Invoker who's very unprotected. Sure, there's a Prophet in the field. But meanwhile, bottom lane, this might be our first blood. Sunstrike onto Kux, as well as the Ice Path. maelk TP'd in. Is there a salve? Is there a salve? There is not. Probably would have died anyway. And that's the first blood, and it goes to maelk, so jungling is the Prophet. Has the Ring of Basilius, but not on him. Unfortunate, otherwise could probably get this tier 1. Without the Ring of Basilius, they'll do some chip damage. They don't have any points to Liquid Fire yet. That's going to slow down the push as well. But EG strike first. And I still think even now, even though it's not a first blood, Vodki with the smoke at the seat, they could look to go mid. Invoker's still only level 4. He doesn't have a point in Wex yet. If you wait much longer, though, he'll probably pick up a point, and then you have to buy Dust, or you have to drop a Sentry Ward, and also you might not even get him. You might not even be able to pick him off before he gets back to the tower. So it's a good time to smoke gank, but looks like they're more concerned about getting the levels up. Rubik level 2, Venomancer, he's the one harassing the lane. He's the one applying the pressure. But he's managed to hit 2 as well. So far, it is free farm for fumoffu. We saw it's not always enough to get that free farm. You gotta do something with maelk hits the tower as well. Is this gonna be an ultra early? Oh, is that not his Ring of Protection? No, that is his. So they go for no, that's Demons. Okay, Demons for the Tranquil Boots. maelk with the Sage's Mask and the Ring of Basilius. Okay. Well, that's a lot of regen. Maybe he's gonna rush an Orchid. Or go for the urn. I guess that's probably the more likely choice. But yep, just picking up a couple regen items early, not rushing a Midas just yet. We'll see if he goes back for one. It would still be a very early Midas, even if he starts now. Getting the tower, as well as getting the first blood, really going to help him out. Top lane, Demon still being completely stymied, and Tidehunter's up to level 4. Demon's only level 1. This is the downside to pushing that lane. Demon, even with Firefly, even with Boots, might not be able to live. Pulled back in and zapped away by Vodki. Really nice play. Getting that kill and further stalling, delaying Demon. This is a bit of a concern for EG. A lot. It comes down to the Prophet now, because they've gotten a ton under their Prophet, but they're giving away a lot to Kux. So you have a BATRIDER who's getting nothing. You have a Tidehunter who's getting a lot more than he really should be, or at least than you'd like him to be getting. And so your Prophet's got to make hay in the mid game. He's got to make up for that. Fumoffu, what is he going for? Battle Fury Rush for him. Has the Poor Man Shield. Has the Ring of Health. Has farmed so quickly that he could have had a 4-minute Midas if he wanted to, but realistically, you probably farm faster with the Battle Fury anyway. Just getting that up by the 10-12 minute mark, even 13 minutes. And it's still gonna, once you have the Battle Fury, you're gonna farm faster than the little bit of increased gold that you get. And he gets the tower as well, so this is an incredibly fast Battle Fury. Already the Claymore complete. Unless they gank him soon, this is gonna become a problem. And if you look at EG's lineup, again, this is what I was talking about in the draft. There's not much lockdown. It really comes down to hitting a nice Sunstrike. That's how they're going to kill him. Aside from that, there's no lasso for a long time. Although the tower died, Anti-Mage is not going to leave this lane. So it won't be an easy free farm lane for Demon, at least not yet. He's going to need some help. That might come from maelk once he hits 6. maelk not 6 yet, though. And continues to stack, continues to pull. I wonder if this is for Fear. Fear is rushing to Midas. Gloves of Haste already complete. I believe this is the recipe here, so if you're going to get this Midas, they want to try and go a little bit later into the game. They think that the Lifestealer can go toe-to-toe with a free farm Anti-Mage, and we'll find out. We'll find out, but it's a tall order for a hero like Lifestealer, who doesn't have the mobility, who isn't going to farm as quickly. has to get some hero kills, has to apply pressure. And here we go, this is the start of that pressure. Open wounds in the bottom lane, Sunstrike is going to connect, Kux is shut down, and denied again. I believe one more auto attack, now he goes, but in comes an angry kphoenix. Silence on the Fear, no infest for you, he says, but this silence is wearing off soon. He's going to get the infest off, he does! Oh, that's unfortunate, and now maelk almost TPs away, not quite able to do so. Will Fear try to run at this point? Will he try to escape or will he wait? Now they're gonna just wait. They saw the creep he was in. Gotta start denying your own creeps as quickly as possible. And then look to go in Fear. Meanwhile, top lane, just some glows being traded. Cute play by Fear and just a lack of burst damage for FTFC. But I think Fear is kind of dead anyway. bdiz could maybe come in with an ice path. Just keep on denying those creeps. Look at what they're doing, and maelk is trying his darndest to prevent this. This is even if he lives through this, Fear has already lost a lot of farming time. This is a big loss for him. It is allowing his Midas to cool down though. The lane's still pushing. It's still pushing. He's still trapped inside this creep. I refuse to move my camera away from this creep until we find out what happens to poor Fear. No, no, sir. I don't care if we miss 10 kills. We're stuck with this creep. We're stuck in this lane until the bitter end. This is just unbelievable. He makes his break. Jailbreak for Fear. Running for his life. And very anticlimactically, he will live. I think that was a good 2 minutes he was trapped inside that creep. Cute stuff. Very cute stuff. So free farm anti-mage, Battle Fury coming very soon. The Voidstone is available, or he might just, he's probably going to go for the Broadsword. Generally, if you have this free farm, you get the bigger items, so if you die, you don't lose as much gold. You don't have as much to accumulate. It's easier to farm up the Voidstone than it is a Broadsword. So in the end, it's not Fear, but it's Demon who's going to farm up those stack creeps, which makes a lot of sense for the BATRIDER. Although it did delay the Prophet's farm, so that's the downside, is maelk could have had a Midas a minute or two ago if he had just been farming normally. Yes, this gets Demon back into the game, but it comes at a cost, which is why I was a little surprised by it. Let's see what Vodka can make happen mid. Tide is Ravage now. This could be a double kill if they look to go Anchor Smash and the Gale onto Jeyo. Sunstrike gonna hit, just barely clipping him. Zapped. Needs a little bit more. A great ice path that both heroes run into. But kphoenix is here, and he's going to clean up that kill. Now Vodka, level 6, steals back Dual Breath. Wanted the ice path, I'm sure, but not quite able to claim it. And Anti-Mage still on an island, still left unchecked. Prophet still trying to farm up that Midas. He even went back for boots. I guess it could be power treads at this point. You know, I thought Urn when he got... it's a little bit of a schizophrenic build for maelk. It's like he wanted to go for the Urn, he wanted to get the Midas, then he wanted his boots, and now maybe he wants power treads. So just kind of shifting on a whim and not completing anything big yet. Well, we'll see how it turns out. So far, gold-wise, slight lead for EG. Experience-wise, slight lead for FTFC. Basically a dead-even game. Anti-Mage, as it mentioned, still left unchecked, and we didn't actually see the Ravage in that fight, so it is available if FTFC want to group up, they want to be aggressive. Demon has finally started to catch up. He's gotten a lot of time in this lane. The supports left, they went to help that bottom lane, went to support the Tidehunter. So Demon gets level 5, also farming the stack. maelk getting close to 6. Really need that ult to discourage the tower diving and the aggression of these heroes, and he should have it soon. Surprising just to see a Prophet who had such a good start not being level 6 already. That's the downside to helping your team though. And Prophet steals that haste. Wants to go on tduck. This is not a good idea though, as kphoenix is here joining this fight. maelk should be okay, but it's Jeyo who may suffer. Notice the Void was already used. Was not able to hold on to that. Has no way to cancel the TP. But does force Jeyo out of the lane, so sometime he won't be farming. An opportunity for FTFC with 4 heroes grouped up here to push this lane.
Radiant structures are fortified.
And the Sunstrike onto Vodka, half of his health instantly, but dual breathing, even at level 1, look how much damage that dual breath does, just murdering those treants. Anchor Smash as well to clean them up. Now EG comes in, I believe BATRIDER is 6 at this point, Demon lurking on the high ground. This should be the one that initiates the fight for this team. Nobody else can really go in first, but with good vision, with good awareness of what's going on from Demon, they're not actually going to commit. You'll also notice, very important, when you have an anti-mage farming this well, nothing can slow down that Battle Fury. They have a lane ward for him. If EG want to gank, they have to use a smoke. And it's an 11-minute Battle Fury. Say what you will about Fumoffu, but if you give him free farm, he doesn't miss last hits. He's farming quite well. 80 CS in 11 minutes. He's maybe missed 3 or 4 last hits this game. Or I guess that's 5. Yeah, it's 5 last hits or so, maybe a few more. But, he's probably had a couple neutrals as well. So just farming very quickly, and he's even gotten this camp stacked. So already has his boots, has a full charge wand. He hasn't. Has he gone for the burning build? Yeah, he's gotten 2 points in the stats so far. Curious to see if he goes for more. It helps you a lot against the lifestealer. There's a ton of magical damage though, and getting some more points in the spell shield wouldn't be a bad idea either. Looks like maelk is going for the Midas. In the end, he's going to go back for it. So with double Midas, EG, they think they can take this to a later stage of the game. And well, it is a free farm anti-mage, but he's kind of on an island in that sense. The rest of his team, Nightstalker's getting the basic items, but nothing big. And now onto Vodki they go. Meteor comes in, just incinerates him. Oh, he burns, and he dies. It's a sad Rubik. Pushing into this Ravage is going to be tough, but a great hero to do it is the Lifestealer. Sure, you picked Tide, that's nice, but I pop my Rage, I pop my Open Wounds, I charge in on you. I get aggressive. What a time by Fear is able to pop that at the perfect moment, dodges the Ravage with it, and now it's just a disaster for FTFC, getting picked up one by one. Rubik is going to rejoin the fight. Ice Path to miss, and now a beautiful telekinesis, stunning 3 or maybe even 4 heroes there. They defend the tower, they only lose the Tidehunter, and they do it without fumoffu. Shockingly decent result considering how bad that looked. They did lose a hero, don't get me wrong, but considering how bad it could have gone, I think FTFC have to be happy with that.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Fumo? Oh, he sent himself a salve. I was wondering, because I figured he'd have his boots by now. Just not skipping the boots for the moment. This is a mistake, because you'll be able to move just from camp to camp faster just by buying the boots, and you're gonna need them anyway. So a small mistake by fumoffu. It will slow down his farm a small amount. But he's doing all the other things correctly. He's getting the Quelling Blade early. He's taking some points and stats to help him farm faster, to give him a little bit more blink mana to work with. And so in every aspect except for having the boots, he is maximizing his farm this game. Still neck and neck with the Lifestealer, but it should be mentioned, although Lifestealer's keeping up, a lot of his money is in this Hand of Midas, which doesn't really give you that much damage. Lifestealer already has tons of attack speed with the Armlet and with Rage. It's mostly just about the gold and the levels for him. Battle Fury, on the other hand, gives you a lot of damage and regen, both of which anti-mage do need, so... Numerically, they're even, but in terms of the utility of these items, as they scale towards the late game, Midas not going to do as much for you as a Battle Fury. So far, EG, with the double Midas up, maelk finally picking his up. I believe it was around the 12-13 minute mark for him when he got that. And jeyo as well, so it's a triple Midas. Jeyo picked one up, and now I really like this, because with 3 Midases, they're saying, sure, you can have your really fat anti-mage, but we're going to have 3 heroes who maybe aren't quite as farmed, but are big enough, and 2 of them are Hex carriers, that if this goes ultra late game, if this even goes pretty late, which appears to be how FTFC want to play it, they'll have the Hexes, and they'll have the damage from the Lifestealer to bring them down. Plus, you get an item like Basher, and Basher is a pretty decent way to lock down a hero like anti-mage. You get one Bash at the right time, all of a sudden, your team gets in range, they drop the stuns. They also have the Lasso, a great way to deal with a carry like him. Getting concerned about the rest of FTFC. kphoenix falling behind, and farm has not been very effective as a Night Stalker this game. Just not finding... Did I hear a Sunstrike? Nope. Just going crazy. Just my ears ringing from too much nonsense this game. But yeah, I mean, the rest of the team, aside from the anti-mage, are really falling behind. To be honest, this doesn't really look that good for FTFC. And now fumoffu gonna eat the Sunstrike. Will he be able to blink away? This will be a big win if he can. Has a max blink, but there's the Flame Break to pull him back in. One more blink, the Open Woods. This should be the kill. One more stack, and the Firefly, and the auto attack. Demon with the haste, just zooming and zapping hither and thither, then gonna TP out and escape with his life. That's gotta be frustrating for fumoffu. And they TP'd in the entire team to defend this, or ran in a few cases. That is 5 heroes top, and they still lose their free farm anti-mage. Now Fear pulls ahead. EG just if FTFC aren't going to be aggressive, if the Night Stalker's not going to shut down this triple Midas, in the next couple minutes, they're going to have their next items up. They've already got the Armlet, the Force Staff, or the Yule Scepter, or even the Hex, whatever Jeyo wants to get. That's not far away. And we're looking at a Prophet who should have something coming soon. Let's see what he's gone for. Completed his phase boots, and then from there, I think it's straight into Hex. Maybe an Orchid, but if you go for Orchid, Anti-Mage is going to have the Manta style soon, so most likely it should be a Hex. We're looking at a team that could have 25, they could have 2 Hexes at the 25 to 28 minute mark. Maybe even sooner. Anti-Mage isn't going to have more than 1 or 2 more items by that point. He may have his Manta, he may have the Reaver, unless he gets fed. This is a little too much for fumoffu to carry, I'm feeling right now. And just not able to find these openings for the Night Stalker. You'll notice the good wards that EG have placed around the map. Sentries to make sure that FTFC don't have vision around this area as well. And they're holding on to their towers. They still haven't lost the tier 1 mid. They still haven't lost the tier 1 bottom. That really limits the freedom for FTFC's Night Stalker for these strong ganking supports to be aggressive. They've been sitting on Ravage cooldown for 4 or 5 minutes now and still have not used it. I think we've seen 1 Ravage this game. maelk though. maelk might get caught. Fumo, eat a tree, Fumo! Oh, he doesn't eat it. I think pressing the wrong button there. Might, not sure if he could have gotten the kill because he had to Mana Void and Prophet was at full HP. Would have been close. fumoffu maybe missing a bit of an opportunity there. Here comes Demon, and Demon's got a Vodkey, and that's a dead Vodkey. Goodbye, Vodkey. I'm sorry for your loss. Nothing he could do there. Just caught out of position. Get that flying vision, and instantly you're good to go.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
It's a blink dagger for Jeyo, even more aggressive. It's all about the mobility for these guys. Double blink daggers. And this, now that they have the Demon Blink, we can see that combo that I was discussing in the pregame, which is put your Lifestealer inside of the Batrider, then blink in, pop out from Infest, and instantly assassinate someone, whether it's the Tidehunter, the Rubik. Really any of these heroes could be brought down, aside from perhaps the Anti-Mage. Right now, if he gets lassoed and Lifestealer's hitting him, I think he dies, but might be hard to catch him in that position. The Invoker, a little bit more curious. I feel with the Blink on the Batrider and the Lifestealer, I don't know that they need this one. And it's more of an aggressive item. Let's see, is Jeyo going to go for kills? Is he just using this to allow himself to run away from ganks? That one, I think the verdict is still out, but it's not a bad item. It does give you some mobility to try and keep up with heroes like the Anti-Mage, like the Night Stalker. And it's a Desolator soon for Fear. It's getting so massive, and physical damage, just alone, it forces the Burning build, to be honest. I feel fumoffu desperately needs more stats, but he also needs some way to deal with all the nuke damage, so he needs a lot right now. He's got to get the Manta Cell. He's probably, maybe even rush a BKB, just so you can tank that magical damage. There's still Lasso to worry about. Without it, I don't know if the Reaver's enough. The stronger and fatter the Anti-Mage gets, the quicker Lifestealer will chew through him. It's the beauty of that hero. And now, we settle into a farm fest. Neither team really committing to any aggression. EG's found a few openings. Still a pretty even game, but EG with the triple Midas up. Just gonna be, over time, just by existing and not dying, they pull ahead. They pull ahead in gold. They pull ahead in experience. And it's a pretty significant lead. It's not insurmountable, but it requires EG to make mistakes. And right now, FTFC is not forcing them to. This Night Stalker for kphoenix, it just doesn't seem like it's being used the way that IG was using it the other day, or that the teams that have been running him like to use him. Paired up with the Bounty Hunter, just constantly going for kills. It felt like the Night Stalker had to do it all by himself, and that's a tall order for a hero that was soloing against an Invoker for a decent part of the laning stage. It's a tall order for a hero that has to deal with Prophet counter-ganking. Here comes the infested Demon towards the top lane. It's a Nyx bomb. It's a Lifestealer bomb. We're about to see it with the double damage on Demon. 4 heroes grouped up. This looks to be extremely bad for FTFC. Oh, they gotta react soon. What a beautiful combo. How well will it work is the question. Demon starts it off with the Firefly, blinks in, grabs kphoenix, surprise! He says, and in a moment, Well, that's the Night Stalker, by the way. That's how quickly he dies to the Lifestealer, to that physical power. Just mauls him to death, rends him limb from limb, and FTFC were smoked while this was happening, looking ahead towards the middle lane. But they know AG's top. At this point, they can't take a fight without that Night Stalker. They desperately need to silence, so they're going to go for a bit of a tower trade. Try and get the tier 1 mid in exchange for the tier 1 top, but look at the TPs from EG. Fumo wants this tower, he will get it. Lifestealer coming in, Fear pops the Rage. Something stolen, it's the Rage for Vodki, doesn't matter, Lifestealer just in range. Get that final swipe, now maelk joining the party. Jeyo too. Blink City, everybody here in position.
Come.
And they're gonna push. They have their items, they're happy at this point. Ultimate Orb up on the Prophet. The triple Midas, if you don't punish this with some ganks. Jeyo's the only one, does he have his Ultimate Orb? He does, so they're really not far off. Multiple hexes. Alacrity onto the Lifestealer. A great little army. It's, in a way, it is sort of that EG pushing style. They always find a way to push early. It's not a team that you ever really see sit back and purely farm. They might do it for 5-10 minutes, but not for that long. And here comes Demon. Special Agent Demon on the case. tduck gets caught. Rage onto one. Now onto Cux he goes. Cold Snap to bring him down. EG just absolutely destroying FTFC under their tower and their base. Alacrity back on Fear. Not really the perfect time. But they are going to try and work on this tower, and because there are still creeps in the base, no backdoor protection, a fresh wave of treants gets summoned. And the wingless Balinar, not as scary. Trying their best to defend this tower, trying their best to defend the middle lane. Fumoffu pushing for all he's worth. He does have the Manta style now. This is with him being ganked earlier by Demon, this is with him being shut down a bit. It's an anti-mage who's having an incredible farm, but he's being out-farmed by Fear, by the Midases, and more importantly, I think, by just the towers that EG are taking down. They've already taken down 2 tier 2s, as well as 3 tier 1s. 5 towers knocked down already. And it's only 3, so in terms of every other aspect of this game, aside from the anti-mage farm, they're just slipping behind. And now it's time to ask, okay, sure, the supports aren't really getting many kills, do they at least have the items up? Rubik, only a Staff of Wizardry for him. Is he going to get a 4 staff soon? He's pretty close, I'm guessing that's the choice. kphoenix, close to the BKB, will help them quite a bit, but still not really able to stand toe-to-toe with the Lifestealer. And with those hexes coming out, it's never a guarantee you get your BKB off in time. And even if you do, Demon might be there. He certainly was before.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Now the pressure towards the bottom lane. Fumoffu gonna mow that tower down very quickly.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
And EG gonna force some TPs back. 3,000 gold on Fear. Fear is really good. This is a big zombie. A ghoul, whatever you want to call it. That's a lot to deal with. And Fear, what was stolen? It was the Infest. Not the ability you really want to have. In comes kphoenix with the BKB. What can he do? Fear is silence. That's why he's running. He doesn't want to engage while silent. Fumoffu blinks in, into the middle. It's a trap. It's a problem for him. Blinking away. Will survive. Ravage connecting, but not on Fear, the one they really need that stun for. Not able to lock him down. Sight device up on the Prophet, delivered in the midst of this, behind enemy lines almost. Bit of an airdrop. So they have Jeyo's sight device yet. No sight device for Jeyo yet, but they're getting close. That's going to be a double sight device, and with the Blink Dagger on the BATRIDER as well as Infest, you can also Infest into Prophet. That's the other thing we haven't seen. But Infest Prophet starts with the sight device, then Lifestealer pops out. They can probably bring the anti-mage down, just the 2 of them. So many ways to kill him. And now another form of Disable coming out with the Basher. FTFC may have had the better team fight, the better lockdown at this point in the game. On paper, as far as abilities go, but EG are getting the items that allow you to team fight. And once again, it's the Nyx Bomb. It's the combo. Here comes Demon. Here comes Fear. Haste turn as well. Demon just having all the luck this game as far as the runes go. And, well, what is he going to find? They ping directly where the anti-mage is. Firefly to start it off. He wants Fumoffu. He sees him. Does Fumo know? Fumo, get out of there. Oh, no, that is so sad, Fumoffu. Poor Fumoffu. He takes a fall.
Leave us.
Good map awareness. And without having the vision, just understanding that with anti-mage off the map, that's the likely place that he is, farming in the jungle. And they spot him out. I guess Fumoffu just missed seeing him because he blinked away the second that they showed up. probably had moved his camera off of that area, and well, he pays for it. Boy, does he pay. They can't afford for him to die right now. Everything rests on his shoulders because of these items that EG are getting. bdiz getting the pickoffs. This will be great for FTFC, but at this point, Prompt Heavy the Hex, you can't find these easy kills.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
There is still time for this game to get a little nonsensical, guys. We haven't seen the Divine Rapier yet. We haven't seen any sort of base trading from EG. All is still possible. The racks are still up in the middle lane. But it just got a lot harder. That's your Scythe device for Jeyo. Double Scythe device, triple Midas for this squad, and an Abyssal Blade to come soon. 4 staff up on Demon. Incredible level of items for EG. It almost feels like they have track gold, but they don't. It's just the Midases. It's just out farming their opponents. Aside from Fumoffu, but with his deaths, this creep score, and a lot of that is neutrals as well. Not really amounting to as much as you would like. Looks like EG is setting up for Roshan, placing some wards down over here, trying to do some D-warding as well. They feel pretty confident with the double hex and just the next level of items they have that they can take a fight, and I think it's the perfect time to do it. You also have a hero in Lifestealer who's unkillable. They have no answer for him aside from silencing him before he's able to pop rage. That's a dicey proposition, and even if you silence him, they can't bring him down that easily. He still has the ability to steal back some HP from you. He's still got the armlet toggling shenanigans, and kphoenix may have overextended. Blink into the 4-step, into the lasso. Demon's doing it again, setting up the kills for his team. Does force the BKB out of kphoenix. The nice thing for FTFC though is Fumoffu is really pressuring this top lane. This may draw the TPs back. This may prevent the Roshan. In fact, it will. Fumo, simply by pushing that lane, is able to do what he needed to do, which was prevent the EG Rax attempt, prevent the Roshan attempt. In fact, with those TPs, FTFC should be able to go into the Roshan pit, at least contest this one a little bit. Remember, Prophet can join this, but 2 heroes TP'd home. Jeyo, no TP. He has the blink. Gonna start roaming over there. Now EG is regrouping. FTFC maybe had a moment where they could have rushed into the pit and tried to get this done, but I think now it's not going to go the way they hoped, as EG is going to group up. Let's see how quickly can Fumoffu kill this off. And also for Kux, he's got a blink dagger, but he's standing in the middle of the pit. That's going to limit the initiation. He needs to tank so Fumoffu doesn't get batched too much. Does EG has to know about this. They had full vision. I mean, they know. They're just really taking their time to come in. These two can look to show up at any moment, pretty much. There's the Prophet and TP, and the Twin-Headed Dragon can walk over there. Demon to start off, blinks in. Roshan is low. The Sunstrike gave them some vision. Set this up. Who's gonna get it? Last hit by Fumoffu. No, Radiant last hit, but Fumoffu steals the Aegis. Tries to escape. Will be able to get away. The Aegis of the Immortal is popped, though. kphoenix going to work on bdiz. bdiz drops, running from fear. Now it's Fumoffu in a little bit of trouble, but still pretty tanky. Still pretty survivable. 3 heroes dead. All the supports got cleaned up while these 2 carries tried desperately to survive. And in the end, it's only Fumo left. The Roshan kill goes to EG. More gold, more experience for a team that is already filthy rich. That's your Abyssal Blade on EG Fear. And I think EG, the Death Ball, it's time to do it. Nothing stopping this train now. BKB on cooldown for Night Stalker. Does have buyback, but without the BKB, cannot really charge in. Will be Cold Snap, will be hexed up, will be locked down and dealt with. Maybe not. They're going to play it extremely safe. I don't see why they're stopping. They could go right now. There's a Blink Ravage, but you have so many ways to disable him. You have Fear, but Fear's taking a lot of damage. No, the Abyssal Blade. Oh, it wears off. He's going to go down. What a Ravage. What a time to go in by Cox. EG miscalculate. And now maelk in a bit of trouble. maelk going to be able to TP away. They don't have vision inside the Sprout. Demon comes back in, but they don't have Lifestealer. They don't have the Prophet, at least not for the next 15 seconds or so. And FTFC defend again. It forces the Night Stalker buyback, but they get a crucial kill onto a very farmed, very fed Lifestealer. Literally the second that Ravage went off, Rage ended. The only reason that Lifestealer dies there. Just the most unfortunate possible timing in the world, and great decision making by Kux on when to initiate. It is quite hard to count down 6 seconds in your head and maintain that level of patience. Your natural reaction is, oh, I gotta go now, my team's dying, I gotta go now. But he just waited, and he waited, and at exactly the right moment he jumped in and saves the racks, and it's still a massive lead for EG. Don't get me wrong, but at least FTFC have a fighting shot at this one. Once they start dropping racks, once you fall behind as far as creep equilibrium goes to a profit, it's very difficult to catch up. Blinking forward is fumoffu, blinking forward is Cux. If they find a pick off, that could be pretty big. Then they can get these lanes pushed out. Maybe do some dewarding as well. You can tell just how much pressure having this Prophet Hex as well as the Lifestealer Infest puts on the Anti-Mage. We're not seeing fumoffu do what he did in the previous series, farming all the way down the river, all the way down the lane. He was more farm, but even if he's got close to a max inventory, you really can't farm by yourself. Hex will remove evasion. It's going to make life difficult. Here comes Demon. Once again, on the case. Setting up the kills for EG. kphoenix forced to use that BKB, trying to run away. Fear, telekinesis back into the air, and he's going to die! Oh, Fear dives too far. The team not with him. EG really not on the same page. They get 2 kills, but they lose Fear again, and they really need him to deal with fumoffu, and this forces the buyback from Lifestealer. Maybe maelk gonna TP home and TP back in with the infested Fear. That could be an option. He's gonna TP away. They don't bind him against fumoffu! Oh, fumoffu blinks into the trees, gets trapped there, and this also causes the death of the Rubik. With the buyback from Fear, now it's time to do a quick buyback check. Who's got it? Just the Invoker, nobody on FTFC. They do have a Blink Ravage, but nothing to follow it up. Just the Anti-Mage Manta style. This looks to be one lane of Rex. This might even be the game. fumoffu not finding the Prophet. Not sure it's what cost them the game, but definitely sealed the deal at that point. Not even sure he could have killed him there, but it would have been a lot closer. Just really unfortunate for him. He didn't have Mono Void, so he didn't have a way to cancel the TP, but it does a lot of damage. 2 lanes of Rex now for EG, with the multiple hexes, with the triple Midas strategy. It's always cheese from EG, even if they're farming. They're not just going to farm like a normal team. They're going to get their triple Midas up. If they're pushing, they're going to go all in with the Lycan, the Lone Druid, the Dragon Knight. If they're getting Knights, they don't just get 1 or 2. They get 4. They get 5 Knights if they can. This team doesn't do anything half-assed. FTFC. Remember, guys, this is only game 1. So for SQL, a difficult game and likely one they won't come back from. But they have game 2 to look forward to. If they take game 2... then they'll get a 1-1 tie, and you get 1 point for that. If EG take game 2, they start the series, or their group stage playoff, I should say, with 3 points. They started off 2-0 if they take that game 2. And game 2 will be happening right after this, so let's see. Can EG end the game now? Are they going to overextend? Ravage still up on the tide. They still have that Blink Ravage to work with. fumoffu is his BKB complete. Did use it in the last fight. Blink in. It's always Demon starting these fights, always with the Firefly. Just being such a nuisance, and Cux is disintegrated. Can't waste that Ravage when Fear is enraged for him, but also can't afford to not cast him because now he's dead, and they don't have any Ravage at all. Now fumoffu being focused. Unstoppable for the Prophet. maelk is doing some work, but it's really Demon just setting up kill after kill for his team. fumoffu forced to buy back. EG has SQL on the ropes, on the brink. We might see a GG any second here. And in fact, fumoffu blinking away. Still no Ravage, 20 seconds to go before that Tidehunter can respawn. Look to help out his team. Vodka keeps on stealing from this Lifestealer. Really wants to get his hands on his abilities. Just not many great spells for him to steal this game. Lasso, too close, not the spell that he wants to use. Ice Path, the main one, but not easy to steal. Exhort Invoker, not many good spells to steal. And fumoffu again, Demon with the Lasso, time and time again. Look at the damage that Fear is providing, too much. It was an infest from the Rubik, and he pops out and tries to run. Tail tucked between his legs, but unable to escape. No escape, no retreat. FTFC, they get mega creeps at 36 minutes. EG are going to wipe them out. GG's for both teams. A well-played game overall, but EG, they took a gamble with the triple Midas, but it paid off. They played it well. Night Stalker for kphoenix. Not a hero we've seen from before. Didn't really have anything to combo with. No Bounty Hunter, no other roaming gankers that could really help him set up kills around the map. And never got going. Night Stalker, a hero that needs to get kills. If you get the kills, he's an absolute terror. If you don't, he's not really a Night Stalker. He's sort of an afternoon stalker. The silence has helped, the tanky frontline presence helped, but just not enough in the end. Mostly came down to the execution, but perhaps you could argue the draft from FTFC not the best. So EG, they take game 1, and we'll head into game 2 soon. You've been watching the G1 League group stage action, day 4 of that action. EG's first debut appearance in the main event in the group stages. FTFC, their second match. Both of these teams getting these early points, getting these points are extremely important, because if we look at the group, well, let me tell you, there's some tougher opponents to come. LGD and IG, still 2 opponents that EG have to face, as well as MEFC. None of those are going to be easy, so they really do need to take this series 2-0 to ensure that they're not in great danger of dropping down. Anyway, that does it for game 1. We'll be coming back momentarily with game number 2. I am LD of Beyond the Summit of dotacommentaries.com. If you enjoy my casting, please follow me. Twitch.tv/ldDOTA, YouTube.com/ldDOTA, where all of today's games will be available as free HD VODs. And then finally, Twitter, Facebook.com/ldDOTA. Stay tuned, guys. Game 2 coming your way soon.